Greetings, citizens of Star Frontiers. This is Oscar Rios, the referee of Citizens of the Frontier Actual Play, a updated old school Star Frontiers channel on YouTube. My team is currently about to start session 4 of their 4th adventure, Raiders of the Restricted Zone. And since our YouTube channel just passed 100 subscribers, thank you very much, I thought it would be a good time to record an OP-4 episode. We haven't done one in a while. OP-4 stands for Opposition Force. It's a look behind the scenes at all the stuff the players don't know is happening. So let's begin. The current adventure, they are on the island of Ventura, which is a very large island in the large archipelago continent of Solar Miner's planet Circe. It was a very central part of the war zone and the resistance to the Sathar during the Second Sathar War about 20 years ago in the timeline. And they've been told that it was heavily irradiated, that neighboring islands were nuked and there was fallout here, and that there could be unexploded bombs, there could be Sathar attack monsters, that the water was going to be dangerous. Don't eat anything because the food's probably irradiated. They were advised to bring environmental suits and triple up on their anti-radiation rads. This is the restricted zone. No one's allowed to come here, but they are on their way to the house of a former very famous recording star to actually recover his collection of gold records that he had in his vacation home here. And after the war, he returned but was unable to reclaim them because, his vacation home fell on inside the restricted zone. So he's hired the players to illegally land on the island, recover his property, and fly out on a ship that he has loaned them and will give them, if they accomplish it, an old party wagon called a Remus atmospheric shuttle walk of shame. So, what has been going on? Let's take a look at the map. There's a few things going on. Here they are on the island of Ventura. They have landed here. They've traveled to Ylang, successfully crossed this river, hit an IED. Well, not an IED, hit an unexploded mine here. Vehicle was okay. Made this long trek here, and then came north to an estate where they recovered additional property for a secondary objective who wanted something recovered. And this is where we ended off with their titanic battle against the Quick Death. Which I had immortalized in this wonderful piece of artwork by Aaron O'Brien. It will be a upcoming cover of Frontier Explorer magazine, featuring the system brief article on Solar Miner written by myself. So again, we have Larmo, Harland, Finknoddle, Thorga, and Joe. And here, of course, is the Quick Death and their explorer out in the jungles. So very proud of this piece, very happy with the way it turned out. But let's get back to the map. Now, there are several complications that the players are not yet aware of. They've been possibly traveling for 2 days, maybe 3 days. I know they, I think they overnighted in Ylang, and they've spent, it's been a long day, so maybe they're about to start their 3rd day. first thing that they're unaware of is their toxic rad gauges have not gone off a single time during this entire trek. Not once. So what everyone had stressed and told them that the area was highly irradiated and dangerous, they've not had one warning from their sensors that there was any sort of radiation other than very slightly elevated background levels that were considered safe. So that's mystery number one. And for the most part, they've really not paid any attention to it. I think they've been so focused on the danger of being here that has just slipped their mind. I mean, they have fought Sathar attack monsters and bots here. They've had a bombing here. They've encountered some odd local wildlife here that spook them. They've got all the way here and fought a quick death. So they've been very focused on achieving their objective, which is to get all the way to Kaning and back to where their shuttle is here. The reason they parked the shuttle so far away is it was one of the only really decent landing spots. So that's number one. There's no radiation, or there should be dangerous radiation. There hasn't been. Okay, number two, they have spotted multiple times strange devices implanted along the road that have been concealed. They've spotted them through their concealment. They can't identify what they are. They seem to be alien in origin. They're a technology they don't really recognize. They have not stopped to examine any of these things. Connected to that, they were followed briefly by a drone that was using some kind of a holographic cloak, which they shot down, but did not stop to examine. Now, these things are connected. What is also connected is while they skirted the large city of Hatola, the only actually, it's probably more of a large town, but it's the largest settlement in the area. They saw that all the streets had been cleared of wrecked cars. A hotel had been repaired. A warehouse had been repaired, a connecting warehouse to the hotel, meaning all of the windows were, repaired, and there was solar power cells all over the roofs of the buildings in this area, and the building and about a quarter of the city looked like it had power. They did not investigate. They just kept moving on with their mission. Now, these things are connected. What the opposition is doing, and I'll get to, I won't lay out who the opposition is, but in secret, someone has been scrubbing Ventura of radiation. The devices they've seen periodically along the road, those are devices to absorb radiation and remove it from the environment. They're radiation scrubbers. Of course, I wish they existed in real life, but it's a sci-fi game, so I can do what I want. But someone has enacted a major environmental cleanup of Ventura Island. Now, could this be the government? Could this be a secret group? Could this be some kind of mega villain? Could it be a group of pirates? We don't know yet. But Ventura is not the uninhabited, radiated wasteland that the players were told it was. They haven't seen anyone, but they've seen signs of habitation and have just chosen not to investigate. They are focused on getting to Kaning and back and off of Ventura alive. I can't really blame them. They've had some very difficult combats. So let's get to the final problem that they will be encountering quite soon. Now, each of these hexes on this map equal 20 kilometers. And as you can see, the distance between Jitjung and Kanig, if you follow the road, is considerable. It comes out to about 700 kilometers. I counted the hexes. You don't have to check my map. Now, the problem that the investigators are not aware of yet is one of their own making. I had told them, very, very carefully, pack everything you need. There will be no resupply. And they did. They packed a lot of stuff. They went shopping. They bought stuff, and they think they're good. What they don't realize is that the para battery of their Explorer has a 1,000 kilometer range, which means they're going to run out of fuel somewhere around here. They don't realize this yet. I will probably, if I'm kind, I'll make somebody roll. I'll make the driver roll, and if he does roll, he'll see the little red light saying 25% power remaining somewhere around here. And then 25% would be, they've got another 250 kilometers or whatever. I'll figure out what the math is before this week's session. But even if, once they get here and they get into the house and they find their objective and they start on their way back, they're not going to have the power to get all the way back to Jitjung. And crossing this on foot would be a monumental task. Now, that's going to be very interesting. I don't know if they'll come up with some kind of kooky way to drain power, to siphon power out of ruined vehicles, or if they will decide to try and make contact with the people in Hatola City who obviously have power and have solar power set up to recharge their own para batteries and make their way off. One thing is for certain, they are being watched, and when their vehicle runs out of power, the OP-4, the people who are living here or working here or whatever they're doing here, may decide that now is the time to reach out and make contact or remove the investigators once and for all. They obviously don't want anyone to know they're here because they have, they've masked their machinery, they've hidden it, they've had a holographically concealed drone. So that, I think, is part 4, is bullet point 4 of the opposition zone. The last part is they have encountered a Sathar attack monster, a Cybo slug here. Very dangerous battle. They fought a quick death, another Sathar attack monster here, equally dangerous. But before they leave Ventura, they will be fighting another Sathar attack monster, one of my own design, and one unique to Cersei, a Sathar attack monster built on Cersei by the Sathar during the occupation, based on a previous life form that I created for the setting. Basically, I took an animal I'd created for our first game and theorized that the Sathar would have grabbed one of these, loaded up with cybernetic implants and dangerous weapons, and set it loose anywhere where there was organized resistance, like Ventura. So, this creature has probably been moving in their general direction. Its sensors or whatever picking up. So before the players get back to Jitjong, they will be encountering another Sathar attack monster. And this one will be on par with a Cybo dragon. Now, you may be thinking, what kind of a sadist am I that I'm going to be throwing a Cybo dragon at my poor group? Well, my poor group has an armored explorer with a heavy vehicle-mounted machine gun that does 15d10 points of damage per round, per burst. So, I'd say they have even money against something on par with the Cybo dragon. If they dismount and fight it without the vehicle, they are doomed. I don't know if they're going to just stay in the vehicle and have it be a tank versus tank monster battle, or if some of them are going to scatter and support the vehicle. We'll see. I don't know when this creature will attack. I don't know how they will battle it, but I know it's coming, which is more than my players do. So, my players have a lot of ground to cover, and there's still a lot of danger. There's a lot of mystery too, but my players have done a really stellar job of not allowing themselves to be hooked into the further plot and the mystery of Ventura. Them running out of fuel may change that. They may have no choice but to figure out who is here and, go over to them with an empty bowl and try and borrow a cup of parabattery to get back to Jitjong. But either way, I will also tell you, by now, OP-4 has found has located Walk of Shame. They did a good job concealing it, but they looked. Their security here is very important. So even if the players find a way to get all the way back to Jitjong without encountering whoever is here, whoever is here may not let them leave until there's some kind of resolution. So we've got a lot of exciting things still planned for Raiders of the Restricted Zone. I expect it to be maybe another 2 sessions, maybe more. We will see. I have 2 scenario ideas after that and more coming all the time. This is, after all, Star Frontier's 40th anniversary, and we are going to be having our own little celebrations at Citizens of the Frontier. So let me just. So that's where we are. We haven't had an OP-4 report in a while. I thought it was time. Game's going really well, and we'll be, playing for this foreseeable future. If you want to get sample art and copies of the sample art and all of our encounters and our NPC notes and even the finished scripts, join us on our Patreon. If you are enjoying the channel, hit subscribe, hit like. I'm sure it will help us. We are always trying to grow the channel. Look for our work upcoming in future editions of Frontier Explorer magazine. This team will be featured on the cover of the next issue. We're very excited about that, and I'm going to start detailing our version of Solar Miner with a system brief, followed by 2 planetary briefs of Kitkur and Solar Miner and Kirkut and Cersei. And you can learn all about all of the other odds and ends and bits and bobs I've put in the system. There will be a series of articles. There's at least 3. I may do one of wildlife. I may do a Nighthawks article on the defenses of Solar Miner, which, after being conquered after being sacked in the Second Sathar War, and I can tell you are considerable. This is not a system that will go down without a fight if another invasion fleet ever comes out of the void. Anyway, we're having a really good time. We thank our 101 members for joining us so far. We hope to grow that number. We hope everyone's keeping safe as we move into the summer months. And, thanks for joining us.